So 8 governments come together and on one day in 2021 arrest hundreds of people, and most of them are going to get away free.
Yeah, it was the largest sting operation ever commenced, involving 8 different governments, 800 arrests, and over 40 tons of drugs were seized on that day. But because of legal loopholes, it might not count.
So the way that they found the information is going to make it so that they might not be admissible in court. And so we're going to talk about how they found that information, the strategies they used, the loopholes that the FBI went through to try to get that information, and then what ended up happening so where they may not even be able to follow through on these cases. This is Things I Learned Last Night. It's a comedy podcast. So if you Googled this and you're like, I want to learn about the Trojan Shield, you're gonna learn about it, but we also make a lot of jokes. So if you hate this, please let us know in the comments, and then watch all of our other episodes and tell us how much you hate this show. It really
let us know in every
is going to
comment.
make us change, I promise.
Yeah,
if you leave one more
change.
hate comment, we'll finally change the format of our 200 episode show.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your feedback. And if you are looking for a place...
I don't appreciate it at all. I want you to know, I don't appreciate your feedback in the slightest.
Well, if you're looking for a place to secretly share messages with people, you can join our membership platform. Go to TILLN.com/support. We've got all sorts of great perks. Our patrons make this possible, so appreciate you
That's
guys.
right. You can join our Discord and get an episode a week early. But for now, you got to listen to this week's episode, which starts right
now.
I'll allow it.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Hey, have you ever heard of Operation Trojan Shield?
Trojan Shield?
Operation Trojan Shield.
Nope.
Let me show you this picture, and we'll see if this helps you at all. If you see this, does this help you?
Let me see what countries are in this. Okay. So Operation Trojan Seal looks like a video game. Are we talking about a video game right now?
No, not a video game. I mean, here's the thing. It could eventually get adapted, but it's not. This isn't from a video game.
Okay.
Let's try this. Okay. What about if I show you this? This is a logo for something, another logo.
Anon?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Like an anomaly?
No.
Why do you do this?
Try this again.
I can see the O. I can see that it's the same O.
Yeah.
I get that they're related.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What about if we do here? Let me show you one more.
Whoa! Holy cow! Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I recognize this one. Try this one. Do you recognize this one?
Special Operation Ron Side.
No, it's iron, but the eye is exploding.
Doing the. Oh, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Is that what it's doing?
Oh no!
Yeah, Ron Side ran for local commissioner after killing his family.
Whoa!
Well, he had to get out of it, so he had to run for office of local commissioner. And he, I don't know what you take so long, dude. In the beginning, you go, "Will you look at this logo?" I go, "No, I don't recognize that." You go, "Huh? What about this logo?" And I go, "No, I don't recognize that one at all." Like we're doing the freaking ink test. And I like, "What do you see when you see this?" I don't know. My dad, I guess. I don't know. Like, what does that say about me?
Wait, hold on.
But then shut up. I'm doing something. Hey, stop talking. I'm doing something. Stop talking. I'm doing something. Then later in the episode, when I'm doing bits, you're like, we have a lot to get to. But you spend the first 5 minutes freaking being like, here's my PowerPoint presentation I loosely planned 4 minutes before this started. Get to it, dude.
Okay. Ready?
I've been ready.
On June 8th, 2021, morning of June 8th, 2021.
Okay, do you remember where you were that day?
Not here.
It was
It was the Thursday?
It was a Tuesday afternoon.
Well, no, I literally said the morning of June 8th, 2021. So
sorry, it was in my time zone, it was an afternoon.
Well, yeah, I guess it does depend. The day. Hold on, let's see. Day of the week was. Oh shoot! It was a Tuesday.
Well, I don't want to say. Oh shoot! I knew that.
I hate that you got that right. That was just a guess. Okay, no. Okay, so
I'll tell you what I was doing on June 8th, 2021. Tuesday morning. It was 2021, so I was door dashing, praying to God that I would meet the amount that required for my rent.
Yeah.
Because the world had returned, but gigs had not. Okay. Actually, that's not true. June 8th, 2021, I was probably at the airfield. That's when I was learning stuff.
Oh, actually, yeah. Gosh, remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when you almost became a pilot?
Hey, man, I got some images to show you. Let me show you why they won't let me be a pilot.
Tell me what this makes you think of, and I'll tell you why you can't
So
fly.
on June 8th, 2021, what are we talking about?
June 8th, 2021. Morning of June 8th,
Which episode of ours came out on June 8th?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Whatever it is, go listen to it.
Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. Alex, could you look that up while we're doing this?
While we're doing whatever
Alex
we're doing
isn't
here. Yeah, he's not going to.
He's not here today.
Yeah, that's why he's not going to. June 8th, 2021. Morning.
Yes.
Australia. There's a knock.
So the night of June 7th for us.
Yes.
They live in the future.
They do. You're right. Correct. So Australia.
Yeah.
Man sleeping in his house awakes to a knock at the door.
Oh, suspicious.
The knock turns into the doors erupted open. Banged open. In flows the Australian Federal Police.
Yeah.
A whole barrage of them.
Yeah.
They arrest him. And
Kangaroos, if you didn't know.
if you didn't know, the Federal Police in Australia are just kangaroos.
Oh, no. They're called kangaroos. I didn't mean they're kangaroos, Tim. I'm not an idiot.
I've always thought they were actual kangaroos.
They're people,
Kangaroos
and they're called the kangaroos.
Kangaroos in three-piece suits. Double-breasted kangaroo suits.
I don't
with
want
a
to
little
do this
cutout
episode
for their
anymore.
pouch. And inside their pouch, AK-47s, two of them. They dual wield them in their goofy little arms.
Yeah. And their stupid little claw hands that they have. And they're like,
all right, man, you're going to prison.
Jump into Zuzu or whatever.
So please come in. Arrest him.
Yeah.
On charges that
What's his name?
We don't have a name.
Okay.
On charges that he is shocked that they are aware of for crimes that he doesn't understand. Simultaneously, in the United Kingdom, a similar scene unfolds.
Okay.
Knock at the door.
Bursting in.
Yeah, the British police. I don't know what they are.
Which
like
are
bad potato soup.
what?
I can't think of anything other than the British food sucks.
Oh, okay.
That's the only stereotype I can come up with. Same thing.
They're the queens. They're all dressed in wigs.
It's the queen bats.
Yeah.
Lithuania.
Okay.
Similar scene unfolds. This happens.
I don't know what Lithuania is.
Yeah, I could not tell you a single thing about Lithuania. Pull up a map, ask where it is. I could guess. I bet I'd be relatively close.
I've been to New Orleans.
Yeah, that's the same.
New Orleans, Lithuania.
Yeah, you're close. So this happens all over the world. 800 different arrests conducted at the exact same time globally.
Okay.
And they all come back to this Operation Trojan Shield.
Okay.
And so to tell this story, we need to go backwards a little bit, back to 2018. In 2018, there was a guy who went by the name of Affa.
Okay. Affa.
That sounds better. Affa. So Affa, we don't know who he is. His identity hasn't been officially revealed. And I don't know if it ever will be officially revealed. But he worked with a number of criminal syndicates around the world. Specifically, he worked with the Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, I think is what his name is.
Crime syndicate.
No, there was
crime ringleader Mark Zuckerberg.
the Facebook criminal. Hakan Ayik, that's his name. Hakan Ayik. He was known as the Facebook criminal because in the 2010s, he was a pretty prolific European crime lord. But he did it all on Facebook. He was like an influencer. He's posting all of his crimes online.
Like, oh my gosh.
And like bragging about it. And so this is the guy.
Yeah.
Just duck face selfie.
Doing the...
Yeah.
There you go.
And so Afu, I believe Afu's his name.
Okay.
Was working with Ayuk Ayik maybe is how you pronounce that. I don't know.
Sure.
But they were working together.
However, yeah.
They were working together.
I love someone telling our story, being like, Jaron and
Tom?
Tom. I think it's Tom. I think that's how they spelled Tom at the time.
At the time.
Jaron and Tom.
I think they used to spell Tom with an I.
I don't know. I think the M makes a B sound. From what we were in doing like research. But you pronounce it backwards. So Jaron and Bit were yeah.
Hi, I'm Bit. They worked on a couple of different projects together.
Are you tired today?
Not particularly. Why?
I'm just wondering.
Are you tired today?
No, I feel great.
Why would you ask that?
That's why I asked. Because what you just did, where you went. Hey, your energy's weird for me today.
All right. Anyways, they worked with.
You see what I'm talking about, right? I feel like this is where Tim tries to gaslight me, and I go, "Hey, man, we can talk about it. You good? You good?"
I never gaslight.
Who'd you have an argument with before we got here?
Literally nobody.
You didn't get stuck in traffic. You're not on edge.
No, there's no edges here. 0 edges.
Okay. All right.
I did,
Buddy,
now
relax.
that you know,
Hey,
now that
relax.
okay, I'll come. You want me to be vulnerable? I'll be vulnerable
Hey,
with you.
calm
On the
down,
way
dude.
here,
Calm
on the way
down.
here, I was driving on
Hey.
the way here. I got off the freeway and I went wrong way in the roundabout. I went the wrong way in the roundabout, and everyone acted like I was the bad guy, but I wasn't the bad guy. It was an obvious mistake. It's an easy mistake to make to go the
hard
wrong
U-turn around the concrete barrier.
Sometimes you go the wrong way in a roundabout.
I just thought I don't want to go right. I don't want to go left. I drove straight through the middle, and I don't understand why people are mad about that.
I don't get what the
in
big
my
deal
Honda
is.
Fit.
It's not.
My hatchback Honda
It's an easy
lime
mistake
yellow
to just
Honda
go
Fit.
the wrong way. Can I not go the wrong way?
That's what I'm sick of. These conformists who want me to just let me to
What,
run
do you want
with
me
the
to
flow
go the
of
right
traffic.
way? Insane. I'm not the crazy one here. So they worked with a platform called Phantom Secure.
Okay.
Phantom Secure was a part of a cohort of brands in the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
Underworld. So Phantom Secure was probably the biggest one.
Was the umbrella crime company.
No. Phantom Secure was the biggest one. EncroChat was another one. Enitcom was another one. Sky Global was another one. And these were essentially jailbroken phones that you could use for encrypted two-way chats.
Okay.
So you could talk about your drug shipments and your gun runs and stuff like that without worry that the feds were on to the conversations that you were having.
Okay.
And so these were jailbroken phones or phones specially manufactured to do crime on.
This is 2018.
This is through the 2010s, and so Afu. We'll call him Afu. I don't remember what his name he goes by is.
Nothing matters.
We don't know who.
Give him a
he
new
is.
name.
We don't know
The
who
show
he
can
is.
give him
As
a
all
name.
we know is it's an alias. All right,
Name
cool.
him Tim. You'll both be Tim.
Sweet. So Tim and Ayik are working together. They are.
I love that that Afu. You're like, I can't figure that one out. Ayik nailed it.
Well, how would you say that? Ayik.
Ayik
Ayik.
and Afu.
Ayik and Afu. Okay. So Afu and Ayik, they are distributors for the phones. And so
Okay.
these phones, because they are crime phones, they can't set up a T-Mobile store and sell in the store. They can't have marketing campaigns or anything like that. It's all word of mouth. And so what these guys were is they would go around.
You can't do phone marketing because trying to sell to people who don't have phones.
Yeah, yeah, you get cold email.
Hello?
That's so dumb. I keep calling people.
The
and they
number you
keep
called is not
answering.
connected. Oh, okay.
Oh, we got one.
Now I just need to figure out how to get in touch with
I
him.
gotta find that guy. I gotta find that guy who all I know is his number doesn't work.
I love the idea of a guy who just got the Bluetooth headset in. He's cooking his eggs. He's working from home.
Yeah.
And he's just like, dial. Hello? Never mind.
Never mind. Bummer.
That's really funny.
So
Can't catch a freaking break.
they would go talking to all their other crime friends.
Sure.
And they'd be like, hey, what kind of phone are you guys using?
I need to get some crime.
And they'd try.
I need to find my crime tribe, you know?
Crime tribe?
Yeah.
And so they would sell them. They'd be like, hey, we've got a good new phone for you, 2-way encryption, all that stuff. And so these phones, they would look like normal phones, but they would typically have like some weird.
And this guy's an influencer doing this? He's like, hey, I'll sell you a phone.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. Cool. Hold on. Just sold another phone. There was no stories. There was just photo albums.
Use code SECURE.
Here's 30 pictures uploaded at once of
me
all the
with
sales I've made this
30
week.
different criminals buying encrypted phones from me.
Could you take your mask down for a second?
Could you? Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Perfect.
a smile.
Yeah.
I think he was flirting with me.
You haven't happened to kill anybody lately, right?
No,
Blood.
So, and they would typically have like a hidden area in the phone where you would go have your chats, and then you could like lock that area up.
Okay.
Kind of like remember. I'm sure this is still the way, but they've updated them, so I don't know if it's how it works. But remember the Coca-Cola like freestyle machines? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, where you could like do a little.
They've got the 3 specific bubbles that
Yeah.
you tap in, and then that's how you like get into the machine and to work stuff.
Yeah, they fixed that.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it now. But it's the same concept. There was like specific hidden stuff you click on, and then it gets you into the chat feature.
Right.
And then you can have your hidden secret chats, and then you can close it out and you don't have it.
Remember the first Coca-Cola freestyle machine you saw?
Oh, mind-boggling.
That's the closest I think I've felt to how people in 1969 must have felt watching us land on the moon. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can put cherry and vanilla in this.
The crazy thing about a Coke freestyle machine is it's not that impressive. Like if you like step away from it, it's not that impressive.
The craziest thing about airplanes is that it's really not that impressive if you look back. It's like, no, it's pretty wild that we can do that.
Yeah, airplanes. If you step back and you think about it, pretty crazy that works.
Coca-Cola freestyle machines, if you step back, you're like, how did human ingenuity do this?
It's the same thing we had before with a screen.
It's not.
The same thing we had before with a screen.
Not the same thing we had before.
If you genuinely, hold on. A normal Coke thing where you just, the ones with the levers, if you took some hoses and just spouted hoses on those, and then were able to just hit multiple levers at once, that's what a Coke freestyle machine is, with a screen that just makes sure all that levers gets levered.
Yeah.
It's the same
and if
concept.
You had an abacus and you were able to do all this and add up different numbers, it's the same thing a calculator is, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not impressive. I'm not impressed. But I will say, I agree with you though. Seeing it for the first time was a revolutionary moment in my life.
Yeah.
There is the moment before. There's the time before freestyle, the time after freestyle.
We can't say what it's called, but the drink that you can make.
Having to do that manually. Do kids
still do that?
I don't think they call that. I don't know what they call it now.
Yeah, they
Alex,
probably call it a
kids
mental
call
health crisis. I don't know. It's my mental health crisis.
It's a mental health crisis.
Oh, yeah. It's my sunshine or whatever. We called it something else. What'd you call it, Alex?
He has no idea what we're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
He has no idea what we're talking about.
You know what? You put all the sodas
You put all the
one?
sodas together in one soda?
Yeah.
What's that called?
You don't remember what it was called?
Alex doesn't have a mic today.
In the early days of this show, we did like affiliate ads where we were like, hey, sign up for Grammarly and use code TILLN, and we got like 15 cents. And now we just do Patreon. It's a much better way. It's better for us as creators. It's better for you as listeners. And it's a much more fun way for us to interact. We do monthly hangouts like on Zoom. We just hang out and play games online and get to know each other. It's a really fun time. So, but still use our code TILLN at Grammarly.com because I think it's still active. We might get like a couple cents from that. Yeah. But join us on Patreon because we're having a great time.
Yeah. If you don't, we're going to have to start doing mobile game ads. Anyways, so And then these phones, what they had is they were connected to the service. And so at any point...
we went from the freestyle Coke machine to the phone or to the things and then to gasoline somehow. I don't know how we got where we were, but...
So
I also do the freestyle gas where I put all of them in my car.
Oh, freestyle.
I put them all.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And then the green one really messes
The
me
green
up.
one's really good.
Yeah.
I love the green one.
It's great.
Smells the best.
Nothing ends the day like a good swig of diesel.
So these phones, it was $2,000 for a 6-month subscription.
Okay.
And the reason why is your subscription service, obviously they did the encryption and everything like that. But the biggest part of it is if you got by the feds or something like that.
Right.
Then one of your crime allies could message
Erase your
support. Well, they could message support and support will remotely clear everything in the phone.
That's
and
pretty
so
crazy.
support would wipe it. And so you would know like, okay, your evidence is safe. They also had like features where it's like if it was inactive for long enough, it would just wipe everything.
I don't know. You seem pretty guilty in here. No, it's not even. I literally didn't even do anything wrong. I'm just really mad because there was pictures of my kids on that phone. Now there's not.
Now there's not because you got.
Yeah,
because I got.
We saw that you wiped that phone. That means you're pretty guilty. I literally wasn't even doing anything wrong.
Yeah, but you can't prove it.
I can't prove it, but I also can't prove that my kids love me, can I?
Yeah, because now I don't have pictures.
That's
of
why
my
the court.
kids loving
That's why
me.
the court gave them to their mom on the weekdays,
On the weekdays.
and I only get them on the weekends. And now I don't have any proof.
Yeah, I can't prove that they love me. They won't say it.
Honestly, I'm already in a prison of my own. What does it matter if you put me in yours?
Who cares? Yeah, put me in your prison.
Put me in your prison.
My prison's worse, I bet. So dramatic. So they're running this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Phantom Secure gets shut down overnight. The government finds out about it, and the government's like, you're done. And so they seize their servers, kill their servers, and now all of a sudden there's a vacuum. They were the biggest one. The government had been systematically shutting down all these chat devices. AFU, I'm pretty confident I'm saying that different every time I say
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
AFU.
It's only weird that you keep pointing it out, Tim.
I just don't remember because it's not his real name. It's a code name that he chose.
That's why I don't think he's offended. I don't think
AFU.
he's listening and being like, it's Afu, like he's like, it's a code name.
He's like, I made it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's AFU, dude. Like, just say the letters.
AFU, he has an idea.
Okay.
He's like, oh, white space. He's an entrepreneur. He's like, there's a white space. I could make the next phone. And so he starts getting to work on the newest phone for the criminals.
Okay.
And that becomes Anon. Anonymous. Anon. That's what Anon is. And so what Anon was it was a modified Google Pixel. And when you turn it on, this was actually kind of interesting. The keypad for your passcode would scramble the numbers every time. So no one looking over your shoulder could look at the pattern or anything like that. So every time you were...
But also, you got to be like... It's so much slower for you to open this phone. You're like, yeah.
You're like,
yeah, and I got a text.
okay. Shoot. Okay.
Like, I couldn't tell you. We have a keypad on my door, my front door of my house.
Yeah.
I legitimately was thinking this here. I don't think I can tell you what the code is. I just know the muscle memory of where to,
Of where the numbers are, where to go on it. Well, that was the interesting thing about like the early Androids, because remember the very early Androids didn't have a number pad. It was literally that. It was a pattern you drew.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you would do the swiggle thing.
Yeah, that was weird. Why did they do that?
I just think they thought they were trying to be cool.
Yeah, no one liked them.
I liked it.
Okay. But so there was these modified phones. You would open the phone, and when you got on the phone, it would be full of all the apps. Facebook,
Yeah, our phones just
Twitter.
weren't locked, were they? Like that slider phone?
iPhones?
No. The slider phone we had.
Oh, yeah, those phones, they didn't lock. None of them locked.
That's crazy.
There was no reason
That's
for
why
that
we were
back in
pocket
the day.
dialing all the time.
Yeah, actually, 100%. But that,
Now, you can accidentally go live on Instagram. There's so many more dangerous things could happen
Yeah.
from your pocket.
So once you figure out your passcode, you get in.
Yeah.
It's got all the apps. It's got Facebook, Twitter, Google, all this stuff is on there.
Sure.
But if you tap them, nothing happens. They were fake.
Okay.
But you could, when you opened up the phone, you had that passcode. There was a secret passcode.
Yeah.
So you had your passcode to get into the fake side of the phone, but you also had a secret passcode you could enter. And once you entered the secret passcode, it would open up. There'd be 3 apps. There was settings, calculator, and one other app that did nothing.
Angry Birds.
Because criminals love Angry Birds. Yeah. At the movie premiere, it was all just felons, just dudes who recently got out of prison.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was going to be a kids movie. One family
shows
brought
up
their
people.
kids.
The face tats in the movie theater were crazy.
They were so hyped. They were singing
That's actually
all
where
the songs.
they. So this is a fun fact. Actually, you can report on this. Was that the Angry Birds movie premiere was a Trojan horse to catch this criminal ring?
The criminal. Yep.
Because they somehow knew. Because what people didn't know is that Angry Birds, through the terms and conditions, were allowed to look through your phone.
They were allowed to look at your phone. Yeah.
So you were playing, and then crime was happening. You know?
Crime was happening behind you. Yeah, you just finished doing some torture.
Yeah.
And you're like, hold on, let me go.
Like, oh, did we kill that guy?
Did we get that guy killed?
Yeah. No, I just sold this amount to a guy in Montana. That's right. Afu
sold 10 kilograms of drugs today.
Yeah.
Also, look at my birds. They're pretty angry.
Ah, darn.
So once you got into this other side of the phone, the layers to this are crazy. You could then go open that calculator app, and in the calculator app, function like a normal calculator. Unless you entered the right code. Then you enter the right code, and then it opens up the Anon operating system. And in there, you have all the chat features and all the encrypted stuff and the secret stuff for your crime.
So every time you get a text message, you gotta go. And then you got to open this third-party app and be like, all right. And then you got to open a calculator and do a math equation. And then just to see a text that says, got it. And you're like, all that for got it?
Just to see a text that's a screenshot of Angry Birds. And he's like, look what I just did.
Dude, you see my new high score? Just to see a text that says, hey, man, I can't make it today. My wife says I can't hang out.
And that was what they're encrypting. They're like, no one can know this. Anyways, so stop looking at me like that. Stop it. Stop looking at me like that. I'm going to take all the gas out of your bags. So anyways. And so he's like, oh, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Afu's developing this. And then Afu thinks, you know what? I've done a lot of crime. And he's like, and honestly, if I get caught, I bet I'm looking at a lot of prison.
Yeah.
And so he calls up his lawyer and he's like, hey, let's meet with the FBI. And his lawyer's like, love the way you're thinking. And so the lawyer calls the FBI and is like, hey, I need to meet with you tomorrow. And so
the FBI does that? They're like, you're like, yeah, we can do the coffee shop on 7th. What are you talking about?
So they show up at the FBI office, Afu and his lawyer.
Yeah.
And they come in and they have a conference room meeting.
And he goes,
and
hey.
he's like, sharks.
For 14 years, I've been operating a secret phone company behind the backs of the United States government and you, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Bureau?
Bureau or board?
Bureau
Is it
of
business?
Investigation.
Is it birds? Are you guys Angry Birds fans too?
Today I am seeking full immunity in exchange for this small idol I found in the woods.
It's Survivor. He thinks that they'll honor the Survivor idol.
There's a hidden immunity idol for prison.
And he's like, oh, sweet, they can't take me to jail now.
He's like, show the jury this.
Show this, and everyone's like, ah.
How'd he pull it off?
How'd he do it? And he's like so cocky about it. He's so stupid. They're like, sir, you're under arrest. What?
He's like, that's not how this works.
What? No, I got the idol.
That wasn't a real immunity idol? That sucks.
Frick.
Sharks. Hello. I hate that.
No, he does. He does a full presentation of the
pitch.
phone.
He goes,
Pitches.
have you guys ever heard of Trojan Shield?
Have you ever heard
Maybe this logo would.
No, you
What
never
about
heard of that one?
this one?
Are you done
What
with
about this one? I was like, how long are you going to let us sit here? Because you knew I was going to wait till you were talking. I love doing this show.
So
dude.
he's basically like,
Yeah. He's
I'll
like,
let you guys-
I'm going to let you in on this if
Yeah.
you...
install the back door.
Yeah.
And then I don't get to go to prison.
Sure.
And they're like, well, what would you go to prison for? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
You tell me. What do you know?
That's a power move too. You show up to the FBI office, right? You roll in, you go, hello, FBI. Quick question for you. What do you know?
What do you know?
And they go,
What do I
what?
know?
You go, what do
What
you
do
know about me?
About me.
And
What
they go,
crimes
nothing.
have I committed?
You go,
That's
good
right.
day.
So
if you want to be on an FBI's wanted list, like a watch list,
ask them what they know about you. And they're like, we don't know much, but I can tell you we're going to
Hey.
find something.
what do you know about me? Nothing?
Good. Keep it that way.
Cool.
That's like a hard thing. That's something that your uncle would say to you when he comes home for Thanksgiving and he's like, you're 6. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, what do you know about me? Nothing. Keep it that way.
Yeah. What do you know about me? I know that mom was really stressed out that you're going to be here today.
Keep it that way.
Yeah. All right, FBI.
You want me to keep her stressed?
I've got a phone company and I've got a competing offer. You can have it, or I've got a competing offer from waiting star Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. The reason he started his phone company, Mint Mobile,
Is that he was
because he
bailing
missed out on the crime mobile.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, that was the opportunity of a lifetime.
Shoot, dude.
FBI beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make the cheapest phone.
Yeah.
So he tells them, hey, you can make a backdoor
Yeah.
to these conversations. I won't go to jail for anything ever. And they're like, okay, that's a pretty good deal. And so the FBI is like super stoked about this. But then they realize pretty quickly, they're like, oh shoot, the 4th Amendment, which says you can't spy on your own people without having like a good reason to
Right.
do it. And they're like, frick, we can't do this. And they're
I
like,
hate the 4th Amendment.
and so the FBI was
But
like,
that is the no context clip this week.
so the FBI
I actually hate all the amendments.
Actually, you know what's great about amendments? You can disamend them.
That's right.
Get rid of them. I don't think we need any of them. Unamend all the amendments. So the FBI says,
Clip that.
the FBI says, okay, you know what? We can't spy on our own people.
Right.
But you know who can?
China.
Australia.
Oh.
Australia doesn't have a 4th Amendment.
That's right. Okay.
So they call up Australia and they're like, yo, Australia, guess
Hey,
what?
Australia. Hello, mate. Sorry.
You won't believe
Out of habit. He didn't even mean to. He's like, hello, mate. Ah, dang it, no, I want to talk to him.
Sorry about that. Were you the guy who just hung up on me? Yeah.
No. That was someone else.
Sorry, I'm a recovering criminal. I just lie.
Sorry.
I just lie to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
That's my B. I'm trying to be more vulnerable about it.
My name's Afu, and honestly, that's also a lie.
also, honestly, I'm lying about that.
I'm
But here's the
lying.
deal. The U.S. government says you guys can't arrest me either. So
what do you guys think about spying on some American citizens? And they're like,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, we've never been doing that. We'd love to.
We would love to start doing that. No, they say, hey, we've got some cool phones that we can use to spy on criminals in your country. You guys want to try them out? And they're like, what's the catch? And they're like, no catch. And so Australia was like, okay, but here's the deal. We've got some laws, like we can spy on our own people, but we can't share that data with another nation. And so America's like, frick. And so America goes back to the drawing board, and America's like,
but why? Like, what are you talking about? Like, at this point, you're just trying to get info on Australians?
well,
Like, what do you mean, shoot, darn?
well, here's the deal. The idea is we can get into infiltrate the international crime ring from Australia.
Okay.
Because it's a web. Like, and so it's like, so they're like, if this distributes outside Australia, then eventually we get into the international crime world, not just Australian crime. But it starts in Australia because Australia is the one that doesn't have any protections for their citizens to be spied on.
At the time.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
But Australia is like, well, we can't pass that data to another foreign power. That's a law that we do have.
Right.
And so America's like, gosh, dang it. So the FBI.
They were a
so
really
mad.
frustrated 15-year-old.
Yeah, they were, oh, frick. And so
Not very emotionally regulated when it comes to.
So they pulled
being
up the
told
map.
No.
They pulled up the map, and the FBI, I don't know if you know this, the FBI has a map of countries that have rights. And they've got colors of how many rights that nation has. And they're like, you know who we could use? And they said Lithuania. Lithuania will share data with a foreign power.
Sure.
So they call up Lithuania and they say, hey, guess what? We've got these really sick phones. And they were like, you guys want in on this? And Lithuania's like, yeah, that sounds cool. We'll set up the servers and we'll just share all the data from the servers with you guys. And so Australia was where they distributed the phones because they didn't have any laws on spying on their citizens. Then Australia, the phones, Australia's just like, all we're doing is passing out phones. And so that's fine. But the phones were connected to servers in Lithuania. And Lithuania's like, we don't care who wants this data. We'll pass it out to anyone. And so Lithuania starts passing out this data to all these different nations. And eventually it becomes a thing where all of these, they made this logo later in the process because they're like, there's so many of us that are doing this. This is pretty sick. This was obviously...
This is pretty sick.
This was obviously someone at the FBI who was really hyped about this.
Yeah.
And so...
This is clearly like 2000... this logo looks very 2015, 2014.
This logo, honestly, I would go earlier than that. I would say this logo looks 2003.
No.
I think this is like Fergie saying 2000 late. That's what this is.
This is 2008 because it's got that, you see that slant
shine
line? That shine line? Yeah, this is 2007, 2008.
Yeah. Well, I think that, yeah. But this was 2018 when this
glossy.
happened.
Everything was
very glossy.
And,
yeah.
you know.
And so they put together
Which
this...
needs to make a comeback, by the way.
Let's change our logo. Let's make a glossy version of our logo.
All right, I'll text that to Caleb.
And so all these nations get involved, and now they're essentially what would happen is you would send your encrypted message. Your encrypted message would go off, and while it was in transit, a copy of it would get sent to that Lithuanian server.
Okay.
The rest of it would go to the person you were communicating with. And with that copy would be the unique IDs for both people who had it. And so they knew exactly who was having that conversation, where they were located, and obviously everything that they were talking about. And then the FBI
Which is also something they have on you and your messages.
No, because the Fourth Amendment. Yeah. What about the Patriot Act made that possible with the NSA?
I mean, spying on people if possible?
Yeah, because doesn't that break the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah.
Why did the Patriot Act make that work? Alex, do you know? Did they have to declare you a terrorist first? Did they have to be like, that person's probably a terrorist?
I think they have to have like reasonable cause. You know, and at the
Fourth
time,
Amendment already says that,
right? But in like that time, in that era, 2006, like reasonable cause was you look suspicious to us.
Interesting. Maybe that's what the Patriot Act was. Is we just think that there's a chance that you might,
if you
be
look
somewhat
suspicious,
terroristy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Interesting.
Which
we know what that means.
Yeah,
we know what they meant by that. Interesting. Well, anyways, so the FBI is watching reading all of these. And for a couple of years, this started in 2018, and it started just in Australia. But over time, this started like really expanding to the point where they had 22,000 people globally that had these phones and were communicating, doing their crime with these phones. And it was all kinds of criminals. There were gangs, there were drug runners, there were biker gangs, like assassins, like every single like cloth of criminal you could think of was on these phones, using these phones and communicating with these phones. And the FBI was just watching, compiling data. They got to the point where over the course of 4 years, they compiled 27 million messages of conversations on these phones related to crimes, various crimes.
This was back when texts weren't free, so that's crazy.
No, this is 2018.
Yeah, what was that?
Texts were free by then.
Texts were free in 2018?
Yeah. Yeah.
I still had to pay for minutes.
No, you weren't.
I paid for minutes till last year.
Shut up. No, you
didn't. Yeah, I had those rollover. They gave them to me, those orange ones. I had a handful of orange minutes.
Are you talking about Tic Tacs?
What?
Are you saying mints?
No.
You're saying mints.
I'm saying minutes.
You're saying mints. Tic Tac. You're talking about Tic Tacs. You saw you were paying for
orange minutes. You throw them in your mouth?
Mints. Yes, mints. Orange mints.
Yeah, those aren't free.
Speaking of Tic Tac, did I send you that video where that guy just called Tic Tac and was like, "Hey, yeah, are you interested in buying TikTok?" They're like, "Do you work for them?" No, I just thought.
I'm just trying to broker a deal.
Yeah. Which honestly, I love the idea where it's TikTok brought to you by TikTok brought to you by Tic Tac is hilarious. And he literally on the phone, he's like, if you guys say no, I'm calling Kit Kat. Hilarious.
Oh, I was calling Dick's Sporting Goods. You guys interested in Dick Talk? You guys could really crush on there. You
could really crush it.
Kit Kat, Tic Tac. Who else could you do?
Yeah, he called Tic Tac, Kit Kat. He called. Yeah, I'd have to go watch it again. He called like 6 or 7 companies on that in that TikTok. Kit Kat thought it was really funny. The lady in Kit Kat.
She was like,
well, at first she was very annoyed, and then she realized
he's joking around.
Yeah, but she was like, honestly, she's like, I think this makes sense.
That's my thing, man. Is that every interaction you have could possibly end up being a viral video? So maybe just like act better.
Yeah, just have fun.
You gotta
Don't
like
be rude.
freaking
be happy. Don't be rude.
But I'm so annoyed by these dudes who are like, "Hey, can I film your video? Hey, will you fit check? What you got going on?"
If an influencer stops you on the street,
kill them?
If an influencer stops you on the street to, I don't know, make one of their TikToks with you, just bark at them. Like, until they run away. It'll go viral. People will love it. It'll be funny.
They'll be like, that barking guy. People will love it. Let's play it out, Tim.
Yeah,
how would you bark? Let's hear your bark.
Just like a, until they leave. I don't know how many barks it would take.
That is so Gen X coded that it's not even.
What?
That's
Gen X
so
coded?
yeah.
What about that is Gen X?
That's a 50-year-old man thing to do, to be like, I'm just gonna bark
at someone. How is that Gen X?
Hey man, can I ask you? You want to be in a video for TikTok real quick? And you're like, both of you are insane in that scenario. There's neither one of you leaves that scenario being like, I'm a person. Both of you leave that scenario being like, I've been destroyed by the internet. My life has been upended. Any attachment I had to reality is gone because of what the internet has brought into my life. The internet has brought so much pain and suffering into my life that I'm now divorced from reality to the point where I am barking at a child on the side of the road in the Glendale Galleria.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. If you like it, there is some great news for you. We have a mailing list. In that mailing list, we give updates on past episodes. So things in the news, things that happen for episodes. We've got over 200 episodes we've done. And every week, things are changing. New updates are coming out. And we're keeping you up to date on what's happening in the happenings of TILLN Topics. So if you want to keep learning stuff, even beyond the content of the episodes, that's a great place to do it. Also, we give updates on things that's happening in the TILLN verse. I like that. I've never said TILLN verse before, but I'm sticking with it. If you want to know what's happening in the TILLN verse, that's the best place to do it. You can go to TILLN.com. There's a link in the description, or you can text TILLN to 66866. There's a lot of ways to sign up for the mailing list to make sure you keep up to date with everything that we've talked about and everything that's going on in the TILLN verse. But anyways, now back to this episode. Okay, but for real in the comments, tell us what's weirder, barking at someone or doing those TikTok videos.
Oh.
I think it's more normal to bark.
And then you end up launching a thing called like Bark Coin or whatever. And then you sell all of it, insider trading.
Turns out that's illegal. Nobody told me that.
And then you're in jail and you're barking at other people in prison.
Barking at all the prisoners, but they bark back. So it's a little different.
They bark back, dude.
All I've been looking for all my life is someone to bark back. And I found them in prison. Who would have thought? No, so the FBI is watching all these chats, right? And they're not getting involved with any of them. They're just compiling data.
Yeah.
Until Lithuania sees one, and they realize, or no, I think it was Sweden. Sweden sees one, and they realize, oh, this is an assassin that has actual intent, and it looks like it's actually going to go off.
Okay.
So it was a guy who owned a coffee shop. He had a feud with another guy, didn't realize that guy was a criminal, and that criminal was like, I'm going to hire an assassin to kill him.
Oh, and that's another fear, dude.
Yeah.
Is that like, there's two possible scenarios that could happen to you.
Yeah.
Okay. One, you could end up in a viral video on accident. A person you have an interaction with could have a huge following. Or two, you could accidentally fight someone who's a criminal.
Yeah.
You could flip someone off in traffic, and then that person's a mob boss, and suddenly you're
dead.
You have
no idea. And he's got a grenade in his center console.
Well, he's a grenade across the street that he goes across the street and gets, and then throws it into your car. A car hit the grenade. Bounced
it wasn't. Yeah.
Into your.
He had nothing to do with the
into
grenade.
the closed window of your car.
That was purely coincidental. He had nothing to do with the grenade.
I just happened to be in the area.
Yeah. His lawyer will take it from here.
And the lawyer's like, see, look at this. No evidence.
yeah, look, you can't see anything.
Yeah, I'm a claymation.
So the Swedish government sees this, and the Swedes are like, oh, no, we need to get involved here.
Oh, no.
And so they call the guy.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, are you this coffee shop guy? And he's like, well, I have a name, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And they're like,
they call him, and he's like, Starbucks. And they're like, hey, did you tick someone off this week? I tick someone off every day. It's kind of the business.
It's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of customer service?
I'm actually insufferable. So there's a lot of people who really hate it. It's kind of on brand for us. We're a coffee shop. We're supposed to be pompous and make everyone feel inferior.
Yeah.
Oh, one of them wants to kill me.
Oh, okay.
And how do you know that?
How do you know? Yeah.
Oh, by breaking my Fourth Amendment rights? That's great.
No, I've never heard of the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
So they tell him, hey, by the way, someone's going to try to kill you tomorrow. You should call in sick. And so he doesn't go, and the assassin shows up, can't find him. He survives. But they obviously don't say how they got that information. So they protect this guy. And this happens a handful of times.
You think he goes in the next day though? You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody calls you and says, hey, don't go into work tomorrow, pretend to be sick. How many sick days do you take?
Yeah. Hey, someone calls you and says, hey, how many sick days you got?
You know what?
You should take them all.
Hey, you should take a sick day tomorrow because someone's planning on coming to your place of work and killing you. You know what? I'll do you one better. I quit. I'm literally
never going back.
I'm moving.
Yeah, can I go into witness protection or something? I feel like we should do more.
Don't you guys have that? We had a Swedish. And then they hung up. And you're like, what?
One day of work.
And you go home to your wife and you go, hey, I can't go into work tomorrow. The Swedes called me.
The Swedes.
And she's like,
excuse me?
Yeah. And she's like, you're saying this because you want to go to the lake with Tim and go fish. That's what you're doing.
What you're trying
you just want to spend time with your codependent, co-meshed friendship It's very weird how close you guys are.
Yeah, it is weird to be close with someone.
We're just trying to record a podcast.
You know that scene in Modern Family where
Phil.
what's his name? No, the grandpa.
Phil. Cam. Jay
Pritchett is his last name. I kept wanting to say Pritchett. I was like, that's not a first name. Where he wanted to go to fishing, or he just wanted to go out on the boat on the lake for his birthday, and no one would go with him.
Yeah.
And then Manny put the boat in the pool. That was the best thing I've ever seen. That show, here's the thing. Shows don't do like heartwarming stuff like that anymore.
Yeah.
My heart was so warm. I don't know if I've ever felt that.
Oh, really?
It was, I was just watching it. I was just like, oh man, Manny's the
favorite
best.
episode of Modern Family is when Manny takes a 4-hour nap, and then Jay, Gloria, and Little Joe have a picnic in the backyard. And then Manny wakes up and goes to the backyard, and he's like, "You guys had a picnic without me?"
What's crazy is that you can see that. Like, that makes sense. Like, that's totally a scene.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Okay, so
I don't know.
So
girl.
for
You're
years,
talking about Modern Family, how you suddenly have feelings for the first time in your entire life. Do you know, whenever, like, all I wanted to do, the internet has broken my brain so much. I'm barking at strangers that are trying to ask me about my outfit at the Glendale Galleria. And all I've ever wanted to do was have my heart feel warm. That's it. All I ever wanted was to feel something. And so I watched television that was created 10 years ago. And I watch episodes that came out a long time ago. And now I watch them on Hulu because it's commercial free. And I use my best friend's account to do that. But then sometimes I go, hey, why am I paying for Hulu and you're just mooching off of me, even though it's his account and I forgot because I have dementia. And
I'm not even on your
and the
account anymore.
only reason I'm this sentimental.
Anyways, so here's the deal. All this crime, they're watching the crime happen.
Yeah.
They're not getting involved except for select cases where they think people are like gonna like die.
Sure.
And when those situations happen, they get involved, but they're very careful not to like blow the roots.
Yeah.
But it's this thing's ballooning up, and there's so many criminals involved in it now that it's starting to become a little bit difficult to manage. All this comes to a head on June
8th.
No, June 7th,
Okay.
2021, because Lithuania's court order that allowed them to run those servers came to an end. And so Lithuania called up all these countries. Now there's all those countries in that picture. And it's like, hey guys, conference call real quick. And so they jump on a Google Meet. And Lithuania's like,
Hey, can you jump on a call real quick? Great. Hey, can you jump on a call? Great. One at a time.
yeah. So Lithuania's like, okay, Australia, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, America, now that you're all here, I got to let you know we've got to turn the servers off. So sorry, should have told you this earlier. And
everyone's like, okay,
yeah,
we'll just arrest them.
exactly. So they're like, okay, tomorrow is the mass arrest. And so they all put together their operations for everyone that they've got data on. And that next day, June 8th, 800 search and seizures were conducted, 800 arrests happened. And as a result, ready for this list?
Sure.
40 tons of drugs were seized, which was over 8 tons of cocaine, 22 tons of cannabis, 6 tons of synthetic drug precursors.
I don't know. Half of it being cannabis is kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Like it kind of takes away, you know?
2 tons of
when
synthetic
you
drugs.
watch like shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine in their early episodes, like they arrest a guy for smoking weed in his apartment.
Yeah.
You know? And now when you see that kind of stuff, you're just like, it aged it so like, oh, you know what's the worst is? Is the Bates Motel series. Did you watch that?
No.
The Bates Motel series, one of the story plots in that is that he stumbles across this hidden operation that's running this weed farm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's like this huge field where they're secretly growing all this marijuana.
Yeah.
And it's like now you watch it and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, half of this list being cannabis is kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and then also 250 guns, 55 luxury cars, $48 million in various currencies, And then, of course, the 800 arrests. It was the biggest sting operation in history in general, and obviously involved the most nations out of any sting operation. This was just Spain, just the country of Spain. This was their seizure.
Man, police departments love these loot pictures.
They
too.
love them.
They love them,
stuff,
man.
And then here's a map of all the countries that their phones got into.
Oh wow!
So they pretty much represented almost the entire globe got involved in this at some point. And then, so immediately after these operations were conducted, immediately after all these arrests on June 8th, they hold a press conference with the head of all these police, like federal police agencies from all the different countries. And so for sure, they were stoked to all these agencies to be in one room together, being like, look what we did. And they've got their logo on the screen. And they just went public with it. They're like, we sold a phone to a bunch of criminals and we've been spying on them for 4 years and we've got them all. And now they're all under arrest and we've seized a bunch of stuff. Here's the problem. All of these court cases have been going on for years. Many of them have been delayed. And what has come up time and time again in these cases is two things. One, they are having a hard time linking these conversations back to the individuals that were arrested. And so they know that the ID was their ID, but they have no reason that they can say that that was that person that they arrested's ID. And so the evidence, while they've got all this evidence from the conversation, they're like, it's not admissible in court because we can't connect it to this person. Second,
that's like whenever I got hit and run. And then I went back to the place where it happened and I saw that car in the parking lot and I called the Kansas City police and I was like, hey, I got the car that hit me right here. Yeah. And then the police shows up and I haven't talked to the person whose car it is yet, but I'm got our cars next to each other and I go, look, here's the scratch all across the back of mine. Look at the scratch on their car. This added up. And he goes, it's not enough. We can't do anything.
That's crazy.
And I was like, what do you mean you can't do anything? He's like, yeah, we can't do anything. And
even with your report?
Yeah.
Like as a witness?
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is clearly the car that hit me. He goes, that won't stand.
It's not enough.
It won't.
That's crazy.
We would have to have footage of them hitting you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So really, if you get in a hit and run, I had to go inside to the guy and be like, hey, you hit me last night. He's like, no, I never left the bar. And I said, be careful what else you say. Because you clearly don't remember when you left the bar and drove away in a not straight line.
Yeah, yeah.
But you did hit me. And then he was like, oh, I mean, I'm sorry. And gave me his insurance. But had he not.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to start hitting people.
Yeah. It's wild. It's one of those, it's a double-edged sword. Because obviously, like, you want to have, like, those sorts of things are protections for people.
We got to hurry up.
But, okay. Jeez.
You just wasted so much time with the intro. I sat on that joke for like 40 minutes. That was really a fun payoff. So what were you saying about hitting runs?
I don't know. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
So the second thing is...
This is like when my stepson put the boat in the pool. It was a really good gesture, but the chlorine started eating the paint.
It's also a big boat. It's a pontoon. It's
gigantic.
It was
boat,
bigger than
dude.
the pool.
I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea.
The
scratch the heck out of the side of my boat, dude.
And we don't even have a pool. It's just a hot tub. It's an in-ground hot tub.
My inflatable hot. Well, it was inflatable. Pop my inflatable hot tub, dude.
Thanks. Happy birthday to me. Am I right?
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
This made everything so much worse.
You owe me a hot
Not
tub.
only does no one in this family want to hang out with me, but I'm also surrounded by idiots.
Tell your stepson you owe me a hot tub. You actually owe me a hot tub.
I'm going to bill you for that.
No, so the second problem
I almost didn't marry your mom because of you.
I met her. Great. Met you.
She didn't, and I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. She hid the fact that she was a mom for the first 2 years.
Tell me about you.
2 years, dude. And then I met you, you were 3 years old, and I knew you were a piece of crap.
This kid sucks.
Gosh, I love her so much, but that kid sucks.
Ooh, this guy stinks. Okay, so
This guy stinks.
second thing was a lot of these nations that were collecting this data, like technically this weird web, it was legal for the data to pass, but it wasn't legal in like a court system. And so it's like like you can technically gather this, but it's not admissible in a court of law.
Right.
So all these cases are getting thrown out.
Yeah. The way that you got this evidence is not legal.
Yeah. So one, yes, the biggest sting operation any country or has ever commenced. The only sting operation that has involved this many nations in cooperation with each other, the biggest single day arrest spree the world has ever seen, and the largest seizure by far. But the majority of the people that they arrested, their charges are getting dropped.
Right.
So can you call it successful? Probably not. But was it kind of pretty cool?
You can call the crime successful.
The crime was successful. The most successful part of it is Afu doesn't have to go to jail. Like he's the genius in this whole thing. He got out of all of his possible charges.
You wanted to do 4 years of work that will amount to absolutely nothing and let me off the hook for all of my crimes, including murder?
Any crimes committed or that I will commit.
Will commit.
Like maybe in the future I commit some more crimes. Honestly, I don't know what else I'm going to do in my life.
Once saved, always saved.
So yeah, that's Operation Trojan.
I accepted forgiveness one time. No, I'm good.
No, you can't do this. I prayed in 6th grade. You can't arrest me.
Oh, come to the Bureau. All my crimes are wiped away. I feel like this is blasphemy. It's not. It's okay. Song.
Anyways, all right. I've had enough of this. That's Operation Trojan Shield. You can fiddle that guy off.
Oh, I had more to say.
Say it.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Things I Learned Last Night. This is an evergreen podcast, and if you're curious about their other shows that they do, you can go to evergreenpodcast.com. Right now, we've got so many other episodes. You can go and look at it. We actually mentioned in this episode the one that came out on June 8th, 2021. It was one of our most popular episodes about how eels reproduce. For hundreds of years, people have been trying to figure out how do eels reproduce. They couldn't figure it out. And so you can listen to that episode, watch it wherever you're at. If you want to see next week's episode right now, please consider joining us in a membership. Just go to TILLN.com/support. It just helps us make this show more often and higher quality. I don't know if you've noticed, but our cameras look better than they used to. So thanks for being here. Thanks for enjoying our show. We like it a lot. We'll see you next week.